Something I learned in Washington and I brought back to my teaching is Edward de Bono's book on the 6 thinking hats. He had a blue hat for the leader, kind of the control person. He had what he called a red hat when you got your passions, your emotions out. He had a white hat for kind of the things you could agree on. And then the green for the creative, now that we've kind of got our passions out on the table and so forth. What are some ideas? And then you evaluate each of those wearing a yellow hat for the positive aspects and a gray hat for the downside. Sort of a kind of a neat sounding, creative way to do it. I don't necessarily buy into the hats, but I do buy into the process. You do need somebody running the meeting, somebody in charge, in this case the leader or the chairman or whatever. And one of the things I learned from this system is, particularly when you got differences of opinion around the table, you got really passionate people that have a lot of emotion behind the position they're taking. Let them share that to begin with. That was de Bono's red hat. Just literally go around the table and say, okay, we're going to get our emotions out on the table, where we think it should be, and the passion, all the passion we can think of behind it. Get that out. And then, having shared that, what is it we can agree on? What facts can we put on the whiteboard, on a post-it, whatever? What is it we agree on? Facts, or solid assumptions that we can agree on as we move forward. Having done that, okay, let's proceed with some creativity. And what he was saying is, if somebody just wanted to jump back to their emotional, passionate approach, say, wait a minute, we got that out on the table first. Let's now objectively and fairly put proposals out on the table, possibilities, really think creatively. And then, in an assessment, look at them from a yellow point of view. In other words, what's the positives here? Gray. What's the negatives? And as a process, in an organized way, it helps you move towards a decision, particularly when you know the group has some strong feelings about various choices that they would make. Kind of trying to take those emotions out of it instead of just an arguing back and forth with no organized way to proceed. I've used it. You don't use it routinely because a lot of times you don't need, maybe you move immediately to, okay, what is it we can agree on? What are some choices, some ideas? But in that situation where you have really strong feelings, I think it's kind of a neat, successful way. And you don't have to talk about the hats. You don't have to explain that. But the process is there that I think really works and has been very successful for myself, folks I've worked with, as well as I've had students who have learned it in class and then used it in student leadership opportunities and have shared with me how helpful it's been to get those emotions out and then proceed in an orderly fashion.